Before we begin talking about Amiibo training, I want to get everyone on the same page as to what an Amiibo actually is. Believe it or not, there's actually 4 types of Amiibo. You might be familiar with figures. You're definitely familiar with figures. You might be familiar with cards if you've bought Animal Crossing New Horizons Amiibo cards. But there's actually 2 more you don't know about. Let me confuse you, and then I'll explain it to you. I have in front of me 4 Amiibo. These are 4 types of Amiibo. They all function identically. Let me explain what these are. First, we have the Amiibo that you all know and probably tolerate and or love. This is the Amiibo figure. Now the Amiibo figure is the one you're familiar with. Figure, chip in the bottom that interacts with the game, so on and so forth. Nintendo still sells these to this day, and they pump out new ones fairly frequently. The second one, you might be a bit less familiar with. This is an Amiibo card. Now, there are official Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, as well as Mario Strikers, Pokken Tournament, so on and so forth. But basically, this is an Amiibo chip put inside a cardstock format. You can usually buy these off of Etsy. This little sucker is very interesting, and this is actually how most competitive Amiibo tournaments are ran. This is not technically an Amiibo chip. Rather, this is called a Powersaves. Power tag, Powersaves. Together, they're referred to as Powersaves for Amiibo. The way this works is you plug this in to your computer, set your power tag on it, tell it which Amiibo bin file, we'll get to that in a second, you want it to run, and then it will make your power tag scan as if it were that actual Amiibo. The way competitive Amiibo tournaments are run is by people sending files of their Amiibo that they get through Powersaves to each other, and then the tournament host makes their power tag scan in as that Amiibo and has them fight. If you've been paying attention, you'll know what this is. This is an Amiibo chip. More specifically, this is referred to as an InTag 215 chip. You can find these in the base of your Amiibo figures, and you can find these in the base of Amiibo cards. This is exactly the kind of chip that all Amiibo use. In fact, this is a Dark Samus InTag 215. If I dug out my Dark Samus Amiibo from the box over there, and I scanned them both in, the game would not be able to tell the difference. They're both Dark Samuses as far as it's concerned. The way people make Amiibo cards is by taking InTag chips and putting them into the cardstock format. Plain and simple. Now, I mentioned previously that if you want to use a Powersaves for Amiibo, you need to have Amiibo bin files. Amiibo bin files are very simple. They're a copy of the data on every Amiibo chip, but it's a file instead of a physical chip. They're called bin files because they are written in bin format. Plain and simple. You can get Amiibo bin files either through Tagmo, which we've covered at AmiiboDoctor.com, or through Powersaves for Amiibo, which we've also covered at AmiiboDoctor.com. The concept of Amiibo bin files is very straightforward. It's just the file on the Amiibo chip. If you're going to write to an InTag 215 chip, you need to have an Amiibo bin file. You take the Amiibo bin file off your Amiibo, send it to someone else, they scan it into the tournament. It's just the data on your Amiibo's chip. Now that we've covered the 4 types of Amiibo, move on to episode 1 so we can talk about Amiibo training in Smash Ultimate. Alternatively, you can read at AmiiboDoctor.com our guides on Tagmo, which is the program used to write InTag 215 chips, Amiibo bin files, or more things of that nature. We have full and complete guides for almost every method that you can use to create an Amiibo chip.